Hey guys, welcome back to King Creek. I'm Stetson. Today I'm going to put a gate up at the front of our property. One of our goals is to make this pasture behind me ready for cows, and the gate that is there isn't really good enough for animals, so we're going to put a different one up, and we're going to put an automatic opener and closer on it. So here's what our gate looks like right now. There's a cattle panel at the bottom, and then it's just kind of like a oil-filled pipe homemade gate situation, and it's ugly. So I'm going to cut a lot of that off and clean it up. And then we've got this kind of arch thing that you could put a sign in. So we're going to try to leave that if we can. The problem we found is that it's not actually in the ground. I dug right there just a minute ago, and that's the bottom of the gate. Step one was cutting everything with a torch so I could separate the cattle gap from the arch. So after talking about it, Mallory and I decided the best thing we can do is lower this arch 3 feet into the ground in concrete. That way it'll be secure. But to do that, I'm going to have to cut it and let it fall over kind of like a tree. So I'm about to make my last cut. After I took the arch down, we had a big storm come through and blow a bunch of trees down. So I had to get out of the gate with the tractor. And so I tried dragging it off the driveway. And when I did, all the welds broke. So this is me getting it ready to put it back together. Since the gate was already in pieces and in front of my shop, we decided it was best to go ahead and paint it now and then touch up what we needed to later in the year. I knocked all the old loose paint off with a wire brush and then used sandpaper for the rest, and then I came back with some acetone and just wiped off all the residue. This is after I put the primer on with the airless sprayer. It did a really good job of giving us a nice finish with no runs or brush marks. Here's my setup, how I had everything fitted up and ready to weld. Well, it's not my prettiest welding, but I think it'll hold. It's got a little porosity in it. It's definitely better than it was. Well, I got the welding done. And I touched it up with paint. Had to do that for both sides. I added these little rings for running the barbed wire. That way I don't wrap the wire around the post and scratch the paint off. Over here I put a little chain that unscrews. That way I can run a cable to the gate and kind of help support it, since it's going to be 18 feet long. See the rings again. They're very hard to weld. I was just using 1/8 inch rod, so it was way too hot for those. The gate's done. Now I just need to dig the holes and set it in concrete. Well, I got my holes dug and I got the arch built. So now I drug it up here and I've got it basically where it needs to go. I need to take these 2x8s out from under it and let it kind of fall into the holes. And then I'm going to take the tractor and pick up on the back end or the top, stand it up. Well, it's about as high as the tractor can go. And the posts aren't quite going in. I'm gonna move my 2x8s out of the way. And I'm gonna try to just wiggle it in by hand. If that doesn't work, I'll have to go to plan B, which is basically making my mast taller on my forks. Well, my phone overheated, but I was able to pull on that cable and get it to kind of wiggle in. So that was about as safe as I could do it. It's level with my torpedo level right now. I got to get some concrete in the holes, and then I'm gonna make some, well, first I'm gonna make some supports to kind of hold it so I can take the tractor off. It was consistently 100 degrees outside while I was doing this, and there's no power up here, so I just had to sweat it out. For the gate opener, we bought the Mighty Mule
single gate opener for an 18-foot gate with the solar panel. And then we also bought the automatic lock. It took me a few tries to get the operator to work right so that it didn't open too far and that so the lock would close when it needed to, but seeing it work right sure is satisfying.
Alright guys, the gate's done. It looks nice. We ended up just putting the barbed wire back on just the way it was, so in the future we'll fix that. But that's it for this one. If you want to see some more, make sure to like and subscribe.